Hello, welcome to season 2 of the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Oh my goodness, we are in 2026 and I have never been more ready for this year. Oh my gosh, the year of the fire horse. Well, welcome before we get too far ahead. Welcome to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, a sacred space created for awesome souls who have spent years caring, giving, leading, and holding it all together, and are now feeling the quiet call to return to themselves. However, that call may be just getting a little louder this year. I'm Justina. I'm a Reiki master teacher, healer, nurse for over 20 years, transformational speaker, retreat leader, workshop leader, and this podcast is an invitation to you to allow your inner soul to slow down, soften, receive, and remember who you are beneath those roles and responsibilities and expectations that you've been carrying, but also to ignite the fire within you, to remind you how awesome you are. I'm so happy you're here. So here we talk about real healing, not the bypassing kind, but the kind that meets you exactly where you are. We explore energy, spirituality, emotional release, nervous system regulation, divine support, and what it truly means to live in alignment with your soul while navigating this crazy real life, right? So you'll hear heartfelt conversations, intuitive teachings, gentle practices, and soul-led interviews. They're all designed to help you clear energetic blocks, reconnect with your inner wisdom, and reclaim your vitality without guilt or burnout. Right? Like we are done. We are done messing around. I am so fired up about this year of 2026 and I cannot wait to hang with you this year. So thank you so much for being here. This is the place where you don't have to have it all figured out, but it is the place where your strength is remembered, your light is reawakened. And if this resonates with you, I would love for you to follow the show. Please leave a review. It helps the message reach so many more individuals that need it at this time. You can also visit my website at angelreikijourney.com, scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter to receive soulful updates, upcoming offers, gentle reminders that you are never alone in this path. Come connect with me on Instagram at Angel Reiki Journey and join the conversation, or you can find me on LinkedIn where I share reflections, teachings, and ways to bring this work into your life and leadership. You weren't ever meant to do this alone. You belong here. And I'm so glad you are here. So take a breath and welcome to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Disclaimer, you should always check in with your physician, your psychiatrist, your counselor, or anyone else assisting in your care prior to deciding that you would like to take any of the recommendations, the suggestions, and our thoughts on any of the subjects that we discuss in the podcast. Thank you so much. Hello, welcome back to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast, a space where we awaken, we heal, we expand, and we reconnect to the truth of who we are. I'm your host, Justina, and today's conversation is going to touch the hearts of so many souls who have been walking through pressure, challenge, transformation, and awakening. Today, I'm deeply honored to welcome Diana Esther, author, poet, speaker, transformational coach, and inspirational teacher whose life and work embody resilience, wisdom, grace, and the radiant power of transformation. After experiencing miraculous recovery from lymphatic cancer and overcoming tremendous life challenges, Diana devoted her life to helping others reconnect to the light within themselves, which is something we all could use right now. Through her loving, intuitive, and heart-centered teachings, she guides people to discover what she calls the diamond within, that flawless, powerful essence that exists beneath the conditioning, the pain, the fear, and the limitation. Like a diamond formed under immense pressure deep within the earth, Diana's own journey shaped her into a beacon of wisdom, healing, and transformation. Her work teaches us how to embrace our sensitivity as strength, awaken our heart-based living, connect to our inner power, and co-create a life filled with peace, joy, clarity, purpose, and grace. This is going to be a beautiful, soul-expanding conversation about transformation, perseverance, healing, and awakening to your truest self. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's welcome the beautiful Diana Esther to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Hi, Diana.
Hi, Justina. Thank you for having me. It is an honor and a deep pleasure to be here with you and with your listeners.
Oh, I'm so grateful that you're here. You know, your story is incredibly powerful. Could you share a little bit about your journey and what kind of kicked off, what started this path of transformation and spiritual teaching?
My diamond journey, which everyone has one, began long time ago at the former Soviet Union. I was born where Ukraine it is now, and at those days it was one big countries, no separation. And when I was little, I was a very sensitive child, wanted to know everything about life, but felt very much unsupported and misunderstood. My soul came to the world to experience joy and happiness of life, but instead I felt completely alone, lonely, misunderstood, unsupported, and not loved. Not loved in a way my soul wanted to be accepted and loved. And the only joy I could find at this younger age was in music. So for hours, I would stay in front of the mirror and just be taken away by the beautiful sounds of music into imaginary land where one day I would become a prima ballerina.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and that was the only joy I could find in life.
Mm.
When I grew up older, I begged my parents to let me go to the ballet school, but unfortunately, I was not allowed. I was not allowed to play instrument. I was not allowed to dance, and my soul felt that something deeply died within me.
Absolutely.
And in very short amount of time, I was taken into the hospital with excruciating stomach aches. It took 2 days for the doctors to establish that I had chronic liver and gallbladder disease, unheard of for the child of my age. I was between 5 and 6 years old. And
Wow.
yes, in those days, we had no painkillers readily available. So you have to wait until the diagnosis is established, and then doctors will do something, will create some kind of painkillers or remedies. So I
Yeah.
was in excruciating day for 2 days, all alone in my room. And it was a moment where I could not bear anymore. The pain was so strong that I felt my body is giving up. And I felt I was dying. I
Hmm.
was already completely ice cold and I was ready to let go. And in that instant, I've heard for the first time in my life the voice within telling me to hang on, that all will be well, and I'm not going to die.
Mm.
Tears were flowing down my face, and I felt heat coming from within and bringing me back to life. I did not know what was it. Whose voice was it? Was it my own? Was it something else? Because I had no knowledge or understanding, especially growing up in former Soviet Union, where
Sure.
religion and spirituality was forbidden. And you had no books or even to speak to anybody. So it was a moment of something very sacred for me that awakened not only my diamond within, but my unshakable trust to this inner voice. And all my life, it was my guiding light. I never shared this information with anybody. I never spoken to my parents or friends as I grew up older because I knew nobody is going to understand. And
Right.
they most probably will feel it's weird, it's not normal, it's,
Crazy.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy. And it's again, Communist manifesto. You don't believe in something supernatural.
Right.
So this voice was everything for me. It was my friend, it was my parent, it was my lover, it was my deep connection,
Mm-hmm.
because without it, I felt I would be completely lost. That helped me to overcome challenges, multiple challenges in my life. So if something would happen, I would ask the question and go within and let it go whenever the answer will come.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you believe we are almost halfway through 2026? Oh my gosh, this year has just been flying by. Guess what? I have something exciting to tell you. So, I have been asked multiple times if I would teach Reiki online. And I will be officially teaching my first online time in July of this year. So, July 24th and 25th, if you are interested in getting certified in Usui Holy Fire level 1 and 2, please look into this. My link will be in the show notes. It should also be in my Instagram bio and then on my website. I cannot wait to meet you. It will be amazing. It's 2 whole days. We get to go through some deep, deep healing as we get these amazing certifications, and you get to feel the Reiki energy within you, around you. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And if you prefer to do the traditional route of in-person, that's still available as well. I will be teaching another in-person level 1 and 2 in August. So August 22nd and 23rd. So real quick again, if you want to do the online course, it's July 24th and 25th, 2026. If you want to do in person, August 22nd and 23rd, 2026. All right. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, now back to the episode.
And it usually would come in very different way, not necessarily only at the voice within. It can come in a book. It can come through a conversation with someone. It would come as unexpected experiences
Absolutely.
without me even knowing what it is. And I've learned to trust it all my life. And the moment I disregard it, because it was several cases in my life when somebody will convince me that what I'm thinking, it's not exactly the way it should be. The
Sure.
moment I follow somebody else's suggestions, everything will fall apart. So it showed me that my intuition, what I call intuition today, and my diamond within, the wisdom that I have within, and so does everybody else, has not only immense power, but it's like your compass in life. Because when we are born, we're born into a world which I call false matrix. We're
Yeah.
born into the world that teaches us something external. It does not teach us to connect to our soul. It doesn't tell us who we are.
Yeah.
This seems to be at the best way of explanation humans on a spiritual journey, but we are not humans on a spiritual journey. We are spirit on the human journey. And when someone learned the real deep truth, everything changes because
Right.
it doesn't make sense anymore. The questions we cannot find the answers to because we are humans, we will simply easily understand and embrace that we are not humans, but spirit on the human journey.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful. And I'm so grateful that you were able to have that moment where you knew you weren't alone, right? And you knew how loved you were. Even though you weren't experiencing that love or that safety, maybe in those humans around you, you knew that there were spirits around you, that you had this love deep within inside of your soul that was there and you were just lit up. It's beautiful.
I guess that every child has it until certain
Mhm.
period of time.
Right.
Because children are such a pure souls, and
Beautiful.
they came into the world, they're just like an empty page, and
Hmm.
and your your parents, your environment, society begins to teach you what's right and wrong and create so-called your identity, build your personality, build your understanding to be accepted in this world. So to me, it was a big gift, but it was also the gift of trust, because
Yeah.
I could have think to myself, my God, I better not trust this inner voice. I better disregard, because people will think I'm crazy or not accept it or not normal. But
Right.
instead, I kept it at the sacred friendship. It
And
was
so often that is what we see happen, right? We see people
exactly.
all of the time that their inner self is speaking to them, they're guiding them, and because of conditioning and because of experiences, we get so quick to be like, "Oh no, that's crazy. Why would I do that? No, 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 I can't do that, or I can't do this." All these limiting beliefs that we develop over time too. Wow.
What I've also learned that there are multiple voices inside of us, and I've learned one thing that I can share with others: how to separate those voices, because very often it's very difficult for someone to understand which voice to listen to.
Sure.
There are two voices, as there are two strong feelings. I call them love and fear. They are equally powerful, and you can't get rid of one or another.
Hmm.
Life, it's all about balance. It's finding balance within those two, which is actually part of one. Everything believe in the society and in the world of duality. Everything has its own meaning and reason. So whenever you feel something fearful within you, whenever something make you diminish or diminish your light, or telling you, you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're not clever enough, you're too old, just forget about it.
Hmm.
Whenever you feel the negative voice within, it's not the voice of your soul. It's usually the voice of your mind,
Right.
or so-called conditioning. But the moment you hear a gentle whisper
Hmm.
that try to build your confidence from within, that try to give you feeling of being special, being unique, and being loved, that's the voice of your soul. And that's something that I will suggest always to listen to, and to create this sacred union as and treat it as very special and unique, because it is special and unique.
Hmm. Absolutely. It's incredible. And I think sometimes people assume that that voice is loud, right? They're like, well, if it's my inner being, I should be able to hear it super loud and, it should be the loudest person in the room. And that's not how it works, right? And if we're
No,
so caught up in our beliefs, of and all of the thought processes that others have said to us over the years, sometimes it's really difficult to hear that inner voice if we're in a hamster wheel of just going and
of
going and
course, of
going,
course,
right?
of course.
And I love that you're reminding people that it's there just because you may not hear it right at this moment. It may just mean there's just a lot going on in there that we need to start to
Yeah.
separate.
That's why people trying to find any kind of modality that will shut the outer noise, like just to be in a beautiful surrounding, go for a walk in the park, to be next to the lake, just to be in the presence of beautiful nature that soothes
Mm,
your nervous system, that will bring you back to balance, or just to be quiet for a moment,
yes.
just to be connected to your own breath, maybe just for a 30 seconds,
Yes.
just to close your eyes, to touch your heart, and to connect to your soul, just even thinking internally, I would love to connect to my heart, I would love to connect to my soul. It takes a very short period of time. It doesn't need hours of sitting in meditation. It can be
Right.
multiple times a day, and you will find it that it's magically increase the whisper within. It will help you to find there's something precious inside that was trying to break through and to be heard maybe for many years.
Hey, you, got a question. Are you ready to make the journey back to yourself? Are you ready to return to your truth? Okay. Well, I think you're ready to start the new cohort. So, level 1, Awakening Return to Your Truth, is a 3-week intimate group experience for women. Okay. If a quiet shift is happening inside you, you can't go back to who you were and you're not quite sure who you're becoming. Know this. You are not lost. You are awakening and you don't have to walk this path alone. I'm trying to create something that I would have really liked to have back in the day when I went through my first awakening. And to have somebody to remind me I'm not crazy, to remind me I'm safe, to help me support myself in the journey, and to help support me along the way. So, again, this isn't about fixing you, it's about remembering who you already are. This is so awesome. But you get to witness, understand what's shifting inside of you, reconnect to your body and feel safe again, navigate emotional and energetic transitions with care, and begin trusting your inner voice and guidance. Let me say that last part again. You will learn to begin to trust your inner voice and guidance. You may still argue with it from time to time, but you will be, oh my gosh, you will be able to start to tell the difference. Is it just mind chatter, or am I actually being guided by my inner voice? So I'm so excited. The link is on the website, right? It will be 3 Wednesdays in a row. So it's a 3-week cohort, July 29th, August 5th, and August 12th. If you're unable to make it, that's fine. There will be a recording. It's from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Only having, very small group we're doing to make sure that we all stay in a safe, sovereign place. So sign up as soon as you can, and I'll see you there. Your recovery from lymphatic cancer deeply shaped your work and your perspective on life. What do you feel like were some of the greatest lessons your healing journey taught you? And what do you feel like, or do you have any thoughts on the lymphatic cancer and what produced it, or why it was there, or what did it teach you?
I was at the time living in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I had open business that took a lot of our time. My daughter at the time was 3 years old, and I had no help available. Sometimes I would have a babysitter or somebody to help me out. We were working long hours, 7 days a week, no break, no holidays, nothing. And obviously, the inner pressure and this way of living was giving a lot of abuse to my body. And being a giver and being a woman, we have tendency of put everybody else as your priority,
Amen.
and
Amen.
you always at the last place. So there is no coincidence that the body can only absorb so much abuse. And one of those days, it screams within without us even hearing it. Because we get caught up so much in business and helping others, is giving to our families, looking after our children, we don't take ourselves seriously. We
Right.
think we are here forever and our energy will last forever. But unfortunately, it's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
So something came into my life very unexpected. I was not thinking about it. I was very much involved in helping myself and my husband to grow, to create family life, to build us financially. And when it happened, it's interestingly enough appeared as a little patch on my left hand wrist. Something out of blue, like a 2 pennies size red patch.
Wow.
So it didn't hurt, but it didn't leave. It looked like a mosquito bite. Very funny. So
Mm-hmm.
I went to see a skin specialist, and he looked at it. And after a while, he gave me a big medical encyclopedia, and it was all written in Latin. I said, "Look, I don't understand. What is it?" He said, "Nobody knows where it comes from, and nobody knows how to cure." So,
Wow.
but he said, "I have no clue what it is, but here it is, a cortisone cream." And I was about to go with my child and husband to the south of Italy where a lot of aggressive suns. So he said, "Take this cortisone cream. When you come back, let me know if it's better, if it's not." Obviously, it did nothing to me. And 2 weeks later, I came back home and I went to see him. He took a biopsy, first biopsy, and it
Mm-hmm.
came back as inconclusive. Inconclusive, with lots of questions. Do you have pets? Do you have fish? Do you have
Right.
allergies? Okay. So I said, no, I don't have allergies. I don't have pets. I have no clue what it is. But the moment they started to take biopsies, whatever it was, it didn't like it. And it started very fast to grow at the mushroom. And it spread from my wrist almost to my elbow.
Wow.
And it took 2 years for doctors to diagnose it. 2 years. Every test and every biopsy would come back as inconclusive. It's never ever crossed my, that was back in the 90s when
Sure.
everything was different than today. Even
Right.
so, Germany was very much advanced in medical science, but it was something very unusual. Let's put it this way. As time went by, I developed a very strong cough. I was coughing nonstop 24/7 for a year and a half.
Wow.
I was exhausted.
I bet.
After each word, I would start coughing. I could not even speak. And I decided every doctor I ever went to had the same opinion. All the tests would come back inconclusive. And I decided to give up on medical science. And I said, if they don't know and I don't know, let it be what it will be.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I met with my cousin in Germany, and she said to me, look, I just remember I knew someone from before, and he seems to be a very well-known otolaryngologist. Why don't you go to him with your cough? Maybe he might help.
Sure.
So I went to see him, and as everybody else, he said exactly the same thing. He doesn't know. It's maybe allergies. It's maybe this. Nobody ever came with any kind of even thought that it can be something else.
Right.
And I said to myself, that's it. That's the very last visit. I'm not going to see anybody. And before I left his office, he said to me, what it is on your arm? Because I was covering my arms all the time. I said, you know what? Don't even ask me. I don't want to go into explanation.
Right.
I'm tired of it,
Exhausted.
simply
Yeah.
exhausted and tired.
Mm-hmm.
He said, look, 9 years ago, I was working with somebody from Austria, a very well skin therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go and see him? Because he was quite old, if he's still alive and if he's still practicing, I was really suggest you to go and see him because he is well known for his diagnostic skills. So that was a moment that changed my life. I decided to go to see this specialist. He was 85 years old, a clinical practitioner, never had practice of his own, but always practiced within the big hospital.
Wow.
When I opened the door and came in, he was sitting across the room on the other side, and room was about maybe 60 square meters, very big room.
Mm-hmm.
completely on the other side, next to the window, surrounded by maybe 10, 15 young doctors learning from him. The moment I took off my jacket and I had a t-shirt because my arm was exposed, from far away, he asked me, where have you been for the last 2 years? I said, what do you mean? He said, call home. You're not walking out of this hospital because you have lymphatic cancer. Can you imagine? It took 2 years to find somebody who had skills and knowledge of seeing from the distance. Forget about
Mm.
biopsies or any kind of test.
Right.
So that's how my lymphatic journey started. He virtually hit me on the head because I become frozen. I couldn't even make a step in front of me.
I can imagine.
It's never crossed my mind. And the moment he
Right.
mentioned cancer, in those days, it's not like now. You have everything is developed. Even chemo was
Sure.
at the very, very early stage. I'm talking about 1991, 92.
Mm-hmm.
So to make the whole experience shorter, it was on and off trying to find the healing modality. And the moment I've heard about chemo, my whole body rebelled. My
Wow.
whole body, like from within, was telling me, no, 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 that is not for you. So it was a moment when I was lost and I had no knowledge what I'm going to do, but a big desire to find an alternative solution. So I spoke into the universe and I said, if there is something in this world that can help me to heal, show me. And
Wow.
I just let it go. And because my knowledge of alternative medicine or practitioners was very, very small, and I had no one to speak to about it, people were simply scared for me. And my child was small.
Sure.
So I started to go from one alternative specialist to another. And I had maybe a list of 20, 25 people from the yellow pages. Those days we had no internet. It was not so easy to find information. So I went to see all of them and I always had the same answer. We would love to help you, but we cannot give you any reassurances. And if you decide to go alternative way, you should not do any medical invasion. Those days, the alternative medicine and conventional medicine was completely two separate entities. You either go this way or you go alternative way. And I had no reassurances from either side.
Wow.
And it was not about to find the right solution. It's like not having any solution, not any
Right.
reassurances from anybody. So last woman on my list, she was in charge of the Homeopathic Association in Germany. So I
Wow.
flew all the way to Frankfurt to see her. And when I walked into her office and spoken about everything that happened to me, she had the same generic answer as everybody else. And I broke into tears.
I bet.
Yeah. And I said, you know what? I've got no one else on my list. You're the last
Yeah.
person. I've got no one to go to. And I know that you know my answer. And I'm not going to leave your office until you come with that answer. And we looked at each other. We looked at each other. Maybe it was seconds. I don't know. It felt like a lifetime. And after a quiet moment, she said to me, why don't you try macrobiotics? I said, what is it? Never heard of it. She said it's a way to heal your body by eating specific diet. And I said, look, I have no knowledge. I don't understand, never heard the word. Who can I speak to? Can you put me in touch with some people who are knowledgeable? She said, don't
Right.
worry, go back to, because I used to live in Berlin, go back to Berlin and somebody will call you. A few days later, a person, his name was Hans Schmidt, remembers now, from Switzerland, called me and invited me for consultation.
Mm.
I came to see him, and he had a little macrobiotic association in Berlin with another two people, one guy from Scotland and one woman from Italy. And each of them had a story, a magical story, how they overcome different kinds of cancer. So I had no time for thinking over. After 4 hours of consultation, they asked me questions nobody ever asked me in my whole life. They come up with a plan, and they said to me, I have to change not only my diet, my whole way of living, my whole environment. And I said, look,
Wow.
from one day to another, because I had no time to wait. I had 1 week left, or no, 2 weeks left before I had to go for the chemotherapy treatment.
Wow.
So I decided to put my life into their hands and trust it 1,000% and do whatever they ask me. It was freezing cold. It was February. It was very cold winter. And it was not just a vegan diet. It's beyond any vegan diet you can imagine. I was not even allowed to eat some specific grains. Obviously, no fish, no meat, no proteins, only specific things, and do some specific lifestyle movements and whatever. So it felt at the beginning when I started doing that,
Mm-hmm.
like I was having a very strong cold. My temperature went up. My body started react very, very negatively.
You were
But it,
withdrawing
yes,
from all of that.
yes,
Yeah.
but it gave me indication that something is shifting.
Yeah.
Something is happening, because people very often think, if I gonna do some kind of healing and it gives me negative results to begin with, it's no good. It's not true, because any kind of change, it's already change, and you cannot change something fundamentally if you don't clean the space, to let the sun in and to let the healing in. You have to
Mm.
clean and sweep the place clean before. So 2 weeks after, I had 40% success rate. 40%.
In 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks, my tumors started to go inside, and I felt I have a wings. So I went to see my doctor, who was because this particular cancer was very unusual type,
Sure.
and because lymphatic cancer, it's like everywhere in your body.
Right.
That one has kind of, it's mutated in a way that it showed itself on my skin. So it was lucky for me that I could watch how it's
Yeah.
progressive or regressing.
Right.
So I went to see him and I told him the whole story that happened to me. He looked at me like I was an alien, and he said, "Do you truly believe it? It's all witchcraft. Forget about it." He was very famous professor. Forget about it. In my experience, yes, it looks better now, but it will come back to what it was. And I felt hurt, such a deep hurt. And I said to him, "Tell me just one thing. If the way it looks right now, if I have a little longer time to think about it before go into the chemo treatment." He said, "Oh yes, the way it looks now, I believe you still have a little time."
Mm-hmm.
I stood up And I said to him, thank you very much for everything, but you will never see me again. And I left.
Yes.
And I went to those guys and I said, now show me where I can study, where I can understand what I'm doing
Wow.
to heal my body. And they found for me place which is not, unfortunately, does not exist anymore. It was in Holland, in forest. And my husband took me there, and I spent there 4 months learning and healing my body, living in a little room of 10 square meters, like a little shoebox, with bank bed, like in the army, and a little sink, waking up 6 a.m., going to bed midnight, learning, healing, detoxing emotionally and physically, and feeling that my soul evolved during this time so much because my knowledge of spirituality was very, you know, like everybody else. What did I know? I never learned. I never lived in any kind of spiritual environment. I had no knowledge of body detoxification or understanding of who I truly am. But it took me on a journey of deep self discovery. And I felt that it was so much aligned with who I was that I was excelling way too fast because I felt that the life I knew before was somewhere down here. And I was already above it all, so much higher that I could not relate to people I used to love and know any longer.
I can so feel that.
Yeah.
Those.
And so what I did, because I guess my wisdom and my knowledge was within me since the time I was born, I decided to experiment with everything I've been taught in order to slow down the process. Do not allowing myself to heal too fast and to feel completely disconnected from my life and environment. I could not afford to do that. Everyone is different. Maybe some
Sure.
people would make different choices. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
had to find the balance. Because I felt I have something very powerful in my hands, something that it's magical, something that was so much aligned with who I was, but I needed to find the balance. And it was very difficult
Sure.
because, it was not ready recipe. It was something I had to go through physically and emotionally in order to find the core of everything that has happened to me since the time of my childhood
Mm.
in order to find sense to everything I did.
Yes.
And life, I always say, it's not a destination. Life is an infinite journey of the soul. And we came here not just to live mundane life. We came here because our soul needed to evolve. We came here to evolve as special, not only spirit, but special consciousness. I call it diamond consciousness. Diamond consciousness is beginning from rough to polished to flawless. That's what I've written in my first book. The diamond within, it's who we are. We're born in this world as rough piece of diamond, something very special, but something that it's concealed from us because the rough diamond has a very dark coating. And unless professional diamond cutter will make a little window and look within
Mm-hmm.
to evaluate the potential of how to cut this precious gem, he would not know. The same thing with us. The same, unless we connect to our own soul, how would we know who we truly are? How would we actually be able to unlock and unveil our whole potential? It's like we are like a Pandora box. We have everything within us, but it's all concealed and locked within. So we live life as normal humans. What we see is what we get. And we get not only bombarded with emotions from the outside, but with consciousness that it's so much lower than it's our own. And we think that the only way it is.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, life really truly is a journey. That's why I named my business Angel Reiki Journey, because so many different people, I work with the angels all the time. I love Reiki, healing energy, all different modalities of healing energy work. But the journey part was the most pronounced for me. And my YouTube channel is called The Journey to Becoming Me, because so much of this truly is the journey to remembering who you are,
100%.
remembering who you are at a soul level. Like, it's going to make me cry. Um, that person that each of us truly are is the most beautiful, magnificent, incredible piece. And I feel like the more time you invest in finding ways to heal yourself, the better ability you have to be able to see that beautiful piece within others.
Absolutely. You
Right?
know, it's interesting. As people, we search for treasures outside. We dig deep inside
Yeah.
of Mother Earth, but
Hmm.
all the treasures are within us. Instead of look within, we actually depriving ourselves and looking externally, because that's how we've been created. And it's
Right.
always fascinated me. And I'm also a poet, so I've written a very interesting poem that called The Game of Life. And I've written many poems, but this is a very strong poem because it's a piece of truth. Life is a game. And because we're born without learning the game of life, we know nothing about it. We're simply
Right.
blindfolded. We learn the physical rules of life, but we don't ever learn the spiritual rules of life. Nobody teaches. So we go through life as blindfolded, and we make mistakes, and we get up, and we fall, and it's endless journey of self-discovery. But it's fascinating, because if you treat life as a game, everything becomes exciting, even if it's negative,
Right.
because it's just a game. That's what we play, by the way, when we are children. Without even understanding, we love hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the game of life. It's all about hide and seek. Light, it's completely hidden within us. And because we are created externally looking at life, I mean, that's how our vision, we feel life on the outside. We have no knowledge how to touch the deeper ourselves from within. We have no knowledge about it.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
the only way it's to do it through emotions and understanding what emotions are. But because since childhood, myself, as most probably many other people, was deprived of emotional support and understanding, we have a tendency of hiding our emotions
Mm-hmm.
and suppressing our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And that what creates instability and illness. It leads to illness,
And disease.
because yeah, and
Absolutely.
disease, because when you cannot express freely and fully who you truly are, and you keep it within, and all these emotions simply develop into stomach aches,
Yes.
cancers, heartaches, anything else.
Autoimmune diseases. Oh, so
Yeah,
many.
yeah, yeah. So,
Absolutely.
and I've been taught by the spirit that sickness is not developing inside of the body. It
Mm.
first developing within your spiritual body. And then it progresses within you. So when people think that they can cut the cancer away or do something about it and it will go forever, because that's how medical science operates. But unless you take away the seed that created it, it always had a chance of coming back. Because
Yes.
the
If you
moment,
never change what you're
yeah,
feeding it.
exactly. The moment, because your life, I always look at life as a garden. We are placing the seeds of whatever our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We water them with our way of life, and we expect them to grow beautifully, but we don't know the intention that we put it when we put the seed of thoughts, feelings, and emotions inside the soil of our life. Because sometimes maybe it was put 20, 30, 40 years ago, and we forgotten about it. And we think that it's all external. It's not. It's never external. It's first internal, and then it grows on the outside.
Wow. Yes, that's so true. That's oh my goodness. Whew, um it's definitely something that so many need to hear and be reminded of. And throughout your journey, you have obviously learned many different practices in order to help you throughout your healing and your awakening journey and all of those things. And a lot of people listening right now are women that sometimes feel, well, oftentimes feel like they're in survival mode, right? They're being the person that you described yourself as when you were in Germany. The running, the going, the going, the going, you're taking care of everyone else. You don't have even time to think about the mere thought of doing any type of self care or meeting yourself where you are, or even wondering what your true wants, desires, and needs are. We just shove that to the background. Are,
Exactly.
are there any simple practices that you can think of or reminders that helped you to keep going on your healing and awakening journey, or to give you hope that you don't have to stay in survival mode forever?
I think the best practice that I practice this up until now, every day of my life. The fear mode and the issues that we have in life usually come from living in your head. That's where the problems are. And the whole way of learning and living our lives, we are very much stuck in our thoughts and in our head. And we think that our mind can help us to find the way. But mind is not meant for it. And when mind become overload with
Mhm.
something he cannot help, it become overwhelmed. That's why the feeling of overwhelm comes from. When we ask mind to be our guiding light, to give us solution, mind is not meant for it. Mind is meant to keep us safe, to keep us where we are. It's not encouraging us to go out of the way, to grow and to find another solution. So when you drop from your mind into your heart,
Mhm.
and heart, by the way, even scientifically proven, are the second brain that has so much more neuroreceptors within us.
Mm.
What I do, you imagine
Mhm.
a beam of light from your forehead going into your heart, at the beam of golden light. And this golden beam of light grows stronger and stronger within your heart, feeding, going back and forth. And by the way, the mind talks to the heart less than the heart talks to the mind. But because mind is very busy doing what it does, it doesn't hear the heart. So in order to find peace and balance, if you can put two hands on your heart, close your eyes even for a moment, and take 3 deep breaths, breathing in a white diamond, beautiful, brilliant light, and breathing out all the darkness, all the stress, all the overwhelm, and letting your body just to reset itself, even for 30 seconds, just to reset itself back to zero. And then you continue to do what you do. It's like computer that has been overloaded and cannot perform any longer as it used to be, needs to be shut down. So
Absolutely.
the moment we do that, it's so practical and it's so easy. And each time you do it, it's not only reset your emotions, it also creates more connection, because each time you touch your heart, you say to your heart, thank you. I know you. You're here. You're present. And I love you.
Absolutely. And it doesn't take that long to do that,
No,
to do
no.
that simple practice. But I do feel like it is important to stay consistent with it, to make a commitment to yourself.
At least to remind yourself, because sometimes when people have to do something all the time, the mind resent to do it and
Mm-hmm.
put you in forgetful mode. But whenever you feel overwhelmed, whenever your heart races, whenever you feel in fear mode, if you just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths by simply touching your heart, and more time you remind it yourself, and more time you're doing it multiple times a day, standing, sitting, walking, sitting in your car, doesn't matter where you are. That's the beauty of it. It's always with you and within you, and it's always available.
Mm, that's so beautiful. What would you say is your deepest hope for humanity right now?
To start living from the heart. Because the moment we will start living from the heart, this world will change 360 degrees. Because we all are one in many ways. We've been taught we are disconnected. We've been taught we are separate, but we are
Right.
not separated. The moment we will understand that everyone in our life, it's a reflection of ourselves. Every positive, every negative person, every so-called coincidence, everything in our life is a mirror reflection of who we truly are. And we all connected. We all have negative and positive within us. We are not simply angels in this planet. We are angels and demons. And that's part of
Right.
this game of life. It's part
Sure.
of it. That's why we have so many different emotions. That's why our soul came here to experience everything, to experience all the emotions in life. And that's why you cannot just check it off or say, I don't want to know negative. I just want to. But how would you appreciate positive if you never experience negative? How would you
Absolutely.
appreciate sweetness if you never tasted bitterness? So the
Absolutely.
moment people will start to treat life as an experience, as truly beautiful and wonderful experience, even if it's sometimes challenging or harmful, but experience of multifaceted and multi, it's like at different levels of consciousness, like a melting pot of different thoughts, feelings, on emotions, trying to find the balance and beauty and love within. So my vision of the world is one heart, one soul, and one love.
Mm, that is so beautiful. I love that so much. Do you have your Game of Life poem near you? Would you bless us and read that to us? And I will have in the show notes Diana's website and all of her social media sites and all of that, so you all can reach out to her and find her beautiful book.
Imagine life is a secret puzzle, and you want to unveil a mystical script. As children, searching for the answers and playing games of hide and seek. Life mysteries as darkest veil, safeguarding hidden truths from us, and navigating through the darkness without knowledge of the past. The memories of many lifetimes, the wisdom that is concealed from us, to give a chance to learn the lessons and find the truth from an open heart. In search for the light and inner guidance, in search for the keys to a magic door, with hope one day to find the passage that lets you see a little more. It takes a turmoil of emotions to begin the quest for the hidden truth, to look for the missing blocks of puzzle, the path to love, and the will to choose. The story of the life creation, the precious gems inside your heart, as shining light of ancient wisdom that gives you strength through storms of life, and mystery of life's illusion, confronting you with daily tests by giving you the chance to be awakened, revealing truth with every step. And love and passion of your spirit will lift you up and let you fly, trying to reach the gates of heaven, transforming consciousness to light that helps to overcome each challenge and move through gates of fear with love, becoming fearless co-creator and building dreams that come alive.
Wow. If everybody listening can just take a moment and hold your hand on your heart and let that sink in and let the gratitude come from you and just let it radiate out of you back to Diana and back to the universe. That is absolutely beautiful. What a journey you have brought us through with that poem. That is, whew, that's wonderful. It's so beautiful. Diana, this conversation has been beyond beautiful, very heart opening, so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your story, your light, and your powerful reminders that even through pressure and challenge and transformation and everything that comes at us on a daily basis, there is something radiant within all of us waiting to emerge. I know our listeners are walking away today feeling empowered to reconnect with themselves, to trust their journey, and begin uncovering the brilliance of their own diamond within. To everyone listening, remember your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your challenges do not define you. And there is incredible light, wisdom, strength, and purpose already living inside you. Thank you so much for tuning in today to the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. And if this episode has touched your heart, please share it with someone who may need these messages today. Until next time, keep healing, keep shining, and keep returning home to your soul. I love you all. Have a great rest of your week. Hi, before you go, hey, I just want to say thank you again. I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you for sharing this space with me today. And I hope that you can feel the sense of community. Every time you listen to one of these episodes, you're in community with not only me, but everybody else that's listening too. And in that beautiful frequency that's created, we get to have our hearts infused with the love and peace and the hope that we have for each other. So thank you so much for that. So as you move back into your day, I invite you to take a moment, just soften your shoulders, breathe into your heart, and notice what shifted for you in this conversation. How do you feel? I hope amazing. And if this episode resonated, please follow the Sacred Soul Sisters podcast. Take a minute to leave a review. Your words help this healing ripple reach other beautiful souls who are quietly longing for support, remembrance, and community. And stay connected. You can visit my website, angelreikijourney.com. You can book an Angel Reiki session there. You can see some of the other events that we have going on. And if you scroll to the bottom, sign up for the newsletter where I share soulful reflections, upcoming offers, and gentle invitations to reconnect with yourself. You can also find me on Instagram at Angel Reiki Journey for inspiration. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm over there too. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to carry all this alone. You are deeply supported. You are divinely guided, and you are worthy of ease and joy and magnetizing moments in your life. And I'm so excited for that. Until we meet again, take care of your beautiful heart and know that it's okay to choose yourself. It's okay to offer self-love to yourself, and it's okay to receive the love and abundance this universe wants to give you. So I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.